here's a question concerning the God of the gaps argument, which I find rather strange, because if you're trying to explain something without using the obvious answer or solution, then you're going to wind up with a gap in your reasoning. So if, for example, I were to say that I baked a batch of cupcakes, and you were trying to explain how the cupcakes came into being, or how they were made, without utilizing the explanation that I baked them. You were trying to say, eliminate the baker from the equation. Then there would be a gap in your explanation, because you might be able to explain what was in the cupcakes and give an analysis of the ingredients, maybe even the sequence of events, everything. Except that you wouldn't be able to duplicate actually, you know what? You might even be able to duplicate the making of the cupcakes. You might be able to do that. But then at that point, you would become the baker. So if the cupcakes obviously could not make themselves, so that the ingredients don't come together to form cupcakes without the baker, then you're never going to observe flour, sugar, eggs, and the batter, everything just kind of combining itself without anyone to design the cupcakes and to put them in the pan. Then, of course, they have to bake. So, you'd have to have some way of getting them into the oven without somebody putting them there. Then taking them out at just the right time for delicious golden perfection. Then, of course, somebody would have to ice them. You'd have to explain all those things without the baker, without having to acknowledge the intelligent source of the recipe, of the procedures, and the actual assembly. So there'd be this huge gap in your argument. Now, and then to go back and say, well, of course, we cannot invoke the baker of the gaps argument, because, well, I'm not really sure why, because nobody really explained that part. Because you don't like the idea, maybe, that bakers make cupcakes? I don't know. You don't like bakers. The idea is just something beyond your comprehension, simply because, well, bakers work at night. You never really see the baker. When they're, when they're done baking, they go home somewhere else, not here. And sorry, I had to get the powdered sugar. And then, you don't. If you don't see the baker, then you wind up questioning the baker's existence. Because they're not here. Where's the baker? What do you mean the baker baked cupcakes? I don't see a baker. Prove to me there's a baker. So, okay. And then, because you don't see the baker, you don't believe the baker exists. Even though they're these delicious cupcakes, cannot be explained. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, try to explain, if you can, the existence of cupcakes without invoking a baker. And get back to me.